All right, so moving on with our note here, we're going to go on to the compound interest investigation. So Mr. Pierce goes to a bank with $1,000 to invest for 5 years. The bank offers to pay him 5% compound interest for each year he invests his money with them. This means that they will pay 5% on the original amount invested plus any interest earned for each year for the length of the investment. So the difference with this one is they're not just paying the 5% on the original amount, but they're also paying it on any interest that was earned. So that's going to change our calculations a bit. So we'll see he starts with the same amount of 1,000. The percentage is the same. We've got the 0.05. So we're adding on 50 after the first year. So his ending balance is the same that first year. So starting out this next year, he starts with $1,050. Except you'll see here, when we calculate the interest, it's not always just going to be 1,000, how it was up here. These were all just 1,000. Down here, we're taking our starting balance at the beginning of the year, and that's what we're using when we calculate our interest. So we've got 1,050, and we're multiplying that now by the 5%. And when we do that, we get 5,250. You can see it's a little bit more than $50 that we're going to be adding on this year. So when we do that, we get 1,102.50. So now the next year we're starting out with 1,102.50 is what we're starting out with, or what we're calculating, our interest from. So we're going to use that 1,102.50, and we're multiplying that now by our 0.05, which will give us 55.13. So a little bit more interest in the third year. So we'll calculate what that is once we add it to what he had at the beginning of his third year, and we get 1,157.63. We're starting out with that 1,157.63, and that's the same thing that we're calculating our interest on. So we're going to have that there as well. So 1,157.63, and we're multiplying that by our interest rate to figure out how much interest we'll get in our fourth year, which is 57.88. When we total that up at the end of the fourth year, he'll have 1,215.51. That's what we'll start out with and what we'll calculate our interest with. So in the final year, we take 1,215.51. We multiply that by our interest rate, and we get $60.78 for a grand total at the end of his 5 years of $1,276.29. So this would be his final amount, how much he gets to take out after his money sat in there for 5 years collecting interest, and now this is how much he gets to take away from it. So if we compare that to the one above, we can kind of see it at the same time here. So we've got, with simple interest, he earned 1,250, but with compound interest, he earned $1,276.29. So a little bit more. So you can see with compound interest, it's a little bit more. And the reason is because you can see the interest is earned instead of just on the initial, it's earned on what you start with at the beginning of each year based on the interest that you earned the year previous. So our interest won't always just be 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. It's going to go up a little bit by each year, giving us a grand total of a bit of a larger number than had we done simple interest.